It's time to predict the scores for game week 21 of this 2024-2025 Premier League season. We're slap bang at the moment, Nathan, right in the middle of the third round of the FA Cup. Tamworth currently on at the moment, giving Tottenham a run for their money, and we'll see the conclusion of that match very soon.
Lots of long throws, beautiful.
There is, isn't there? Man City, an excellent 8-0 win for them, and also Chelsea with a 5-0 thumping against Morecambe. But we're here to predict the Premier League. If you're playing along at home, over at the Superbru website, and top of the leaderboard is Yowform VP on 185.5 points, followed by Alex Cochrane, veteran you could say, Predictor on 184.5 points.
Okay, so first up, starting off on Tuesday, 7:30, shocking, Brentford against Man City. Now, Brentford, I was thinking about predicting maybe a win for them against Man City. Obviously, Man City's poor form, which they're coming back into it now. However, they looked absolutely shocking against Plymouth, and Plymouth haven't even won away for a whole year, I'm pretty sure. They've been shocking in the Championship this year. Like, we pumped them 5-0 ourselves, haven't we? But, yeah, they did show a good showing. Man City obviously destroying Salford, so they're coming back into it. 2 wins on the bounce now as well in the Premier League. So, you know what? I'm going to go for a stalemate 1-1.
1-1. I don't think you can take into too much account the results of the FA Cup, because there's a lot of changes in personnel, isn't there, Nathan? Because Brentford went to Southampton in the last round of fixtures and won 5-0. Man City, as you say, coming back into a little bit of form. Back-to-back wins now against Leicester City and West Ham. Excellent win at home, 4-1, and Haaland getting a couple of goals there. So this one, in the past, Brentford have really given Manchester City a good game. I think they will here at home, even though their form is a little bit up and down at the moment. Just 1 win in their last 5 matches. So I am going to go for a Man City away win, but I think it'll be close. So I'm going to go for Brentford 1, Man City 2. Next up, also on Tuesday evening, 7:30, and all these matches are on TNT Sport for the midweek fixtures. Got Chelsea coming up against Bournemouth. Bournemouth having a fantastic season, only lost 5 of their 20 fixtures. A good win last time at home against Everton. Really had to grind that one out, and I think that was the end of Sean Dyche then, wasn't it, Nathan? Yep. Chelsea, a little bit stuttery in the league, haven't won in their last 4 matches. Excellent in the FA Cup, but just a 1-1 draw against Crystal Palace. I think they will win here. I think they'll be their first win in the Premier League in 5, and I think they'll have too much for Bournemouth. I'm going to go for a 3-1 home win to Chelsea. Yeah,
this is going to be a goal fest, this one, with Chelsea just edging it towards the end, liking what both teams are doing, but ultimately it's just going to be quality to preside. So 3-2 to Chelsea there. Anyway, next up, West Ham against Fulham, obviously departing Lopetegui after poor run of form. I mean, they are only 14th, so it's quite surprising they have pulled the trigger, but they must have had Graham Potter lined up. And then Fulham drawing literally everywhere at the moment. 9 draws already this season. Can't even remember the last time they lost. So it's going to be tricky, but you kind of want to see the new manager bounce from West Ham. It's just they're playing Fulham at the wrong time, so I'm going to go 2-1.
Yeah, I think Potter will probably give them an injection. I'm still unconvinced of Potter's credentials really at Premier League level. Fulham have been really good this season. Okay, 4 draws in their last 5 matches. The only win was an away win against Chelsea. So I think this will end up in stalemate. Probably the West Ham faithful will be right behind their side in this one. And I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Next up, got the biggest fixture, you could say, of midweek, although Arsenal and Spurs fans will probably have something to say about that. But we've got Nottingham Forest coming up against Liverpool. I think Forest won this match at Anfield earlier in the season, didn't they? I think it was 1-0. In this one, I think it's going to be very low scoring. Whether there'll be any goals at all, I'm not so sure. Forest currently in 3rd position, 6 wins on the bounce. Liverpool held to a draw in the last fixture against Manchester United, and Liverpool didn't look great in that game, did they? This one, I think it's going to end up in another draw. I don't think there'll be any goals either. I think both defences will be on top here. So I'm going to go for a 0-0 scoreline.
Yeah, this is going to be a tight one, especially with the reverse fixture as well.
Yeah.
Both teams in incredible form. Liverpool have a draw, especially with teams around them. So, yeah, I'm going to go 1-1. Moving on to Wednesday, 7:30 again. Everton up against Aston Villa. Everton doing the absolutely stupid decision of getting rid of Sean Dyche, but on the other hand, they have brought in David Moyes, but I think it was just shocking. Consider it's Sam Allardyce part 2 for me. You're going to sink down the table, you are. Whereas Aston Villa getting through to round 4, obviously Graham Potter's first match in charge of West Ham, so that's a good result there. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a good start for David Moyes. It's just the wrong time to play Aston Villa for me, and they're looking good, so I'm going to go 3-1.
Yeah, I think it'll be tight. Moyes will probably get them very organised, although he's organised under Dyche, you could say. Not scoring goals, but defensively solid. I think they'll be defensively solid in this match. Aston Villa, I think they've lost John McGinn and Ross Barkley in the middle of the park for this fixture. I think it'll just be 1 goal in it, and I'm going to go for a Villa away win. However, I could see Everton win this match, but with the personnel on the park, I think Villa will nick it. Next up, also on Wednesday, we've got Leicester coming up against Crystal Palace. Leicester had an excellent win in the FA Cup. I think it was 5-2 against QPR. Crystal Palace, okay, currently they're in 15th position, just a 1 defeat in their last 6 matches. They were in the relegation zone, looking a little bit lost, but they've turned it around. An excellent 1-1 draw against Chelsea in the last round of fixtures, and I think they'll go to Leicester and collect all 3 points. So I'm going for a 2-0 away win to the Eagles.
Interesting. I actually think it's going to be much tighter. I'm going to go 1-1 draw. Palace loving a draw as of late, especially teams below them. The only, Southampton, they should have really won by more for me. Palace, Brighton, they always win at the Amex recently. They always seem to win at the Amex for me. So I don't know why I can see Leicester actually getting some points on the board here. So 1-1. Moving on, Newcastle up against Wolves. Newcastle are looking absolutely spectacular. 5 wins on the bounce, and they've beaten some difficult teams as well. Aston Villa, Manchester United, well, we all know how bad Man United are, and then Tottenham as well. Wolves, they're starting to gather a bit of form, but I think it is a bit late for Pereira. He has grinded up some good results against teams above them, though, on the other hand, so I can't not back Newcastle 3-0.
Yeah, I've got exactly the same as you, Nathan, 3-0. That was how it panned out last season as well. Going forward, Newcastle, they're going to score a hatful of goals at the back. They're looking very tight as well. Lots of clean sheets. I've conceded a goal in the last fixture, but should take all 3 points. Dubravka is doing well in goals, while Nick Pope's out injured too, so 3-0 victory for me. Then we move to 8 o'clock with the North London derby, Arsenal against Spurs. At the time of recording, they've just moved into extra time with Tamworth in the FA Cup. This one, I think Arsenal just have too much for this Spurs side. Spurs aren't sort of blowing hot and cold. They beat Liverpool in the Carabao Cup, struggling against Tamworth. They could come through that tie. But Arsenal for me, I'm going to go for a 2-1 narrow victory.
I'm going to keep clean sheet for Arsenal here. I just think too much quality at the moment. They're pushing Liverpool for the top spot, and they've got Nottingham Forest really breathing down their neck as well. So
even though Saka's out until March.
Yeah, even though Saka's out till March, they still need the points, so I'm going to go 2-0 to Arsenal. Moving on to Thursday night, 7:30, absolutely shocking. Ipswich up against Brighton. Brighton, no wins in 6, struggling to grind out results at the moment. They can't buy a win, can they? They're just playing everything tight at the moment. They did get that good 1-1 draw, you could say, against Arsenal last time around. Ipswich are starting to turn things a little bit around. Great results against Fulham. They could have even won it in some points. And then battered Chelsea 2-0 at home, didn't they? So I'm going to go for another shock here. Brighton struggling to get the wins. Going to be 1-0 narrow to Ipswich.
1-0. I think Ipswich will win as well, Nathan. I think they'll get a couple of goals. Delap is really important for this Ipswich side. If he doesn't play, then they kind of struggle in front of goals. They got the sort of the craziness and skills of Jadon Philogene joining from Aston Villa. Just needs to be a bit more consistent. Brighton, it was a great result against Arsenal, going away to Ipswich. I think the crowd at Portman Road will get behind the Tractor Boys, so I'm going to go for a 2-1 victory to Ipswich. And the final fixture of this game week, 8 o'clock, as we say, Thursday night for Premier League football is ridiculous. We've got Man United against Southampton. Southampton look absolutely terrible, woeful at the moment. Man United, not great, although they did get a decent result against Liverpool. So I'm going to go for a a fairly not really a straightforward win. It'll be 3-0 to Man United, the Red Devils, but I think they'll win.
I kind of want to back that for Man United, but they're just absolutely shocking.
Yeah.
Even though they finally got rid of Russell Martin Southampton, which they should have done at the start of the season, shocking manager, they still look hapless as well. Two terrible teams going up against each other. No, Southampton are just shocking. They're worse than Derby at this time of this season. So yeah, 1-0 Man United.
So there we have it, guys. Those are our predictions for Game Week 21. If you're playing along at home, make sure you leave your predictions over at the Superbru website. Failing that, just leave them as a comment below. Tuesday night, I think, Nathan, we're at
Cardiff
City against Watford in a rearranged fixture due to inclement weather earlier in the season. So will there be a vlog out for that one?
There will, so much on link in the description below. And 2 managers have gone, haven't they? Who's next?
Can they get rid of any more managers? Well, if the unthinkable happens and Man United get back to losing ways after that draw, say they lose about 4 or 5 on the bounce, could see I'm wrong at the door. Especially if they probably get somebody like either Sean Dyche. Who would think? No, I don't know. Maybe no one else.
Yeah, for me, there's probably not going to be any till the summer now, but the 2 most likely at the moment, maybe Ange Postecoglou, who's in massive trouble potentially, and also if things don't improve, maybe Hurtzler as well. But the Tony Bloom, the Brighton chairman, does like to give his managers time, doesn't he?
He does. Fantastic. Thanks for joining us. As we say once again, enjoy the midweek Premier League action, and we'll see you all very soon. Just a quick turnaround to the weekend. Catch you later.
Hey, I got something to say. I'm just so sick of hearing everyone complain. I know it's tough and I know there's pain, but hitting bottom is the only way to change. So I'll keep hustling, you keep struggling. Bitch, I'm humbling. Keep